Welcome to piano training for proper hand position with a relaxed wrist and arm, number 3. This lesson builds upon the knowledge and skills that were presented in the first and second tutorials of this series. In exercises 1 and 2, the fingers were positioned close together while we developed strength and relaxation for a proper hand position. Each note was played with a deliberate, conscientious evaluation. Here, in exercise number 3, we'll develop the technique for an open, extended hand position that will be applied to the diminished seventh chords. If you're not familiar with the diminished seventh chords, this will be an added learning opportunity. Let's begin our proper hand position practice session to further develop your finger technique while shoulders, arms, and wrists are free from tension and strain. Let's begin. The diminished seventh chords consist of all minor thirds. You can think of a minor third as 3 half steps. Remember, a half step does not skip any notes. For example, from C to C sharp is 1 half step, C sharp to D, 2, D to D sharp is 3. So a C diminished seventh chord is C, and I'm going to use E flat, G flat, A, and C. We'll be moving up the piano 1 octave chromatically. Remember, chromatic means moving in half steps. In other words, we will not skip any notes. But first, let's check our beginning hand position. Place your right hand thumb on the C diminished seventh chord. C, E flat, G flat, A, and C. Let's check the wrist. Be sure the wrist is tall, not lowered and caved in. Check your knuckles. Be sure your knuckles are tall and rounded. You don't want that positioning. Keep your hand strong. Check your fingers. You want to make sure that your finger is very rounded and curved, not caved in like that. Also keep the outside of your hand, your 5th finger, tall, not caved in that positioning. As in the previous hand position exercises, we will play 1 note at a time, continuing to hold each note. After all the notes of each chord are played and being held down, we'll pause for a moment, resting and relaxing our hand into the keys. I'll be talking through the entire exercise. Each note will be played using a 1-inch finger action. Immediately relax your wrist and arm, keeping the knuckles and fingers tall and strong. If you are immediately relaxing the wrist and arm, there will be a naturally occurring rebound motion. So let's begin. This is our C diminished seventh chord, C, E flat, G flat, A, and C. Remembering our 1-inch finger action, check to keep your knuckles tall and relax your hand and wrist into the shape. Moving on to C sharp diminished. Here's E, G, B flat, and C sharp. Keep your fingers rounded and tall, not caved in or flattened. Relax your hand into the shape. Moving on to D. Here's F, A flat, B, and D. Remember for each note to have a 1-inch finger motion. Relax your hand into the shape, remaining tall and strong. D sharp, F sharp, A, C, and D sharp. Quickly and immediately relax your wrist. Relax your arm and your shoulder. Here's E, G, B flat, D flat, and E. Stop to rest any time that you might need to. You do not want any strain or stiffness in your wrists or your arms. Next, we want F, A flat, C flat, D, and F. Look for the naturally occurring rebound motion. If you are immediately relaxing the wrist as soon as the key is struck, there will be a rebound motion. F sharp, A, C, E flat, and F sharp. Remember that only the weight of your arm and hand is needed to hold down these keys. No extra force should be used. Remain relaxed while holding your hand tall. Here's G, B flat, D flat, F flat, and G. Think of your fingers as hooks, and your hand is simply hanging comfortably from the shape. Very relaxed wrist and arm. G sharp. Here's B, D, F, and G sharp. Check that your wrist, arm, and shoulder are tension-free and relaxed. Moving on to A, C, E flat, G flat, and A. Keep your knuckles tall. Keep your fingers rounded and tall, not caved in or flattened. Relax your wrist, arm, and shoulder. Let everything hang from your fingers, like your fingers are hooks. A sharp next, C sharp, E, G, and A sharp. Look for the naturally occurring rebound motion. Remember, you are immediately relaxing the wrist as soon as the key is struck. There will be that rebound motion happening just naturally. Here we go on B, D, F, A flat, and B. Think of your fingers as hooks, and your hand is simply hanging comfortably from the shape. And we've already done C diminished. Wonderful practice. Let's move on to the left hand. Let's check our hand position. Place your left hand thumb on C below middle C to play a C diminished seventh chord, C, A, G flat, E flat, and C. While we have these notes played and being held down, let's check our wrist. Be sure that your wrist is tall. Check your knuckles. Be sure that your knuckles are tall and rounded, not caved in like that. Keep it tall. Check your fingers. Be sure that this joint is very curved, not caved in like this, but keep it curved and strong. Also, keep the outside of your hand, your fifth finger, tall, not caved in like that. We'll begin each left-hand chord with the thumb, holding down all the notes as we go. Each chord will move up the octave chromatically, playing the exercise exactly as we did with the right hand. So here we go. Let's move back to C, diminished. Starting on C, thumb, A, G flat, E flat, and C. Check your knuckles. Be sure they're strong. Let's move on to C sharp, B flat, here's G, E, and C sharp. Remember to use your 1-inch finger action. Relax your hand into the shape. Next comes D, B, A flat, F, and D. Quickly and immediately relax your wrist. Moving on to D sharp, C, here's A, F sharp, and D sharp. Relax your hand. Stop to rest at any time that you might need to. You do not want any strain or stiffness in your wrist or your arms. We're going to move on to E. 1-inch finger motion. Here's B flat, G, and E. Look for that naturally occurring rebound motion. If you are immediately relaxing the wrist as soon as the key is struck, there will be that rebound motion. Moving on to F. D, C flat, A flat, and F. Think of your fingers as hooks. Your hand is simply hanging comfortably from the strength of your fingers. F sharp, E flat, C. Look for that rebound motion. Check that your wrist, arm, and shoulder are tension-free and relaxed. Next comes G. F flat, D flat, B flat. Here's your G. Keep your knuckles tall. We always want to check that. Keep your fingers rounded and tall, not caved in or flattened. Let's move to G sharp. F, D, B, and G sharp. Quickly and immediately relax your wrist. Here we go with A, G flat, E flat, C. Here's your A. Only the weight of your arm and hand should be holding down the keys, no extra force being used. Here comes A sharp, G, E, C sharp, and your A sharp. Think of your fingers as hooks and your hand is simply hanging comfortably. Relax your wrist, arm, shoulder. B, A flat, F, D, and B. Relax everything. Check your wrist, arm, shoulder, and just relax into the shape. And then we've already done our C diminished. You've done some fantastic work. The practice method you've just learned will train your hands to have proper positioning while playing open, extended hand positions. This is necessary so that your hands remain relaxed and free from strain and stiffness. Proper hand position will also increase your endurance and finger coordination. Continued repetition of this exercise will advance your finger technique and your piano playing enjoyment. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe so you receive the latest training, teaching, and performance videos.